I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Good day everyone! My name is Keri Hilario, and I am here to present you a cell city analogy wherein I will compare the organelles of the cell to the Harry Potter universe, or most commonly referred to as the Wizarding World. But before I present my work, let me first summarize what the Harry Potter series is all about in order for you to grasp the main idea and the flow of my presentation. As the title suggests, this is an adventurous story of a young boy named Harry Potter in his journey to uncover all the mysteries set to him by his fate in his whole wizarding course at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. From the death of his parents, the four founders of Hogwarts, and to the secrets of all the characters in the story, especially the antagonist, who is Lord Voldemort, that were later on revealed as the series progressed.
He split his soul into 7 pieces called Horcruxes.
A Horcrux is an object which a person has concealed out of their soul.
The main context of the story went around his journey to fight the dark arts that were once introduced by Lord Voldemort and his forces known as Death Eaters. Now that you have the idea of the setting of the story, let me just discuss you that the cell itself is from the entrance of the platform 9 3/4 to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, or the whole setting of the story. For further information, the Wizarding World is being protected by a magical wall placed between the magic world and the non-magic or the muggle world that only lets witches or wizards to enter, the platform 9 3/4. We can compare it to the plant cell wall that serves as the main protection for filtering molecules that go inside or outside the cell. But if we are going to talk about animal cell, we can relate it to the cell membrane with the same function. Next, if we are going to start with the mastermind or the center of the cell's functioning, most commonly known as the nucleus, we can compare it to Albus Dumbledore, who is the headmaster of Hogwarts, because in the same way, as the nucleus controls all the cell's activities, Albus Dumbledore also has the power over all the teachers and the students and all the happenings inside the school premises. Now, inside the nucleus lies the nucleolus, which we can compare to all the professors at Hogwarts under the power of Headmaster, who teach students essential magical charms, incantations, spells, and potions. Now, as the nucleolus serves in ribosome biogenesis, or the production of ribosomes, which we can now relate to all the students at Hogwarts, the Hogwarts professors also train students in order for the wizarding world to have successful wizard in the future. Furthermore, young wizarding students are being trained to cast spells using their wands, brewing potions, and in the care of magical creatures. All of those magical stuffs are related to the proteins manufactured by ribosomes. Again, to avoid confusion, nucleolus is the faculty of all the professors at Hogwarts, producing successful wizards, which are the ribosomes, and making magical stuffs, which are proteins. Now as we go on, the location of the whole Hogwarts ground, which is located on the highlands of Scotland, where the founders, Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin, had built the school. This area can be related to the cytoplasm of the cell, where all the cell's organelles are attached. Now that I mentioned the 4 founders of Hogwarts, there are of course 4 houses that classify students regarding their characteristics and abilities. Each of those houses has its own common room where the students' essentials and things are kept in. Now, we can relate this common room to the cell's vacuole because it is a storage for food cell or wastes. Meanwhile, there exists also a place for the students to first get their bits and bobs for doing wizardry.
Welcome, Harry, to Diagon Alley.
And we can relate that to the Golgi complex of the cell, where the proteins are being packed and brought to the different parts of the cell. Now, if the students and the wizards inside the school are being served, of course there are servants, who are the house elves. Those house elves who provide all the necessities like food for the wizards are like the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell, because it gives food for the cell in the form of adenosine triphosphate. Sometimes, or should I say most of the times, students break laws inside the school, break stuffs, or bring unexpected things like a floating car, like Ron and Harry did. Now to repair broken rules or broken stuffs inside the castle, the caretaker, Mr. Filch, does the honor. Like Mr. Filch, a lysosome acts also as the security guard of the cell because it digests all the unwanted particles or substances that enter the cell. Last but not the least, wizarding students with their stuffs, or the ribosomes with the proteins, are also being transported from one part of the cell to another via endoplasmic reticulum. This is much like the Hogwarts Express train where the students board on through their way to Hogwarts or going back home. And now we have covered all the parts of the cell, and I hope you learned a lot from my Cell City analogy inspired by Harry Potter, though not all of us are Potterheads. That's all, and thank you.